Hello and welcome to another edition of the Gravestone Pros here at North Country Memorials. We are so glad that you have joined us today. It is going to be a good day. I am going to be working on getting some final date stencils cut and prepared for my brother and for Brian. And I am also going to be just doing a little bit of a walk around the shop talking about overblast and how to prevent that. And also, I will be just sort of looking at our display and the state of the shop as we head through fall and getting closer to winter. It's going to be a great one. Come along! So, Dad is gone this week. His biological father passed away, and so he is gone for a funeral. So that leaves me here at the shop to do whatever I want to do. Well, leaves me here all by myself anyways. I don't know if I quite get to do whatever I want to do, but I am here alone running the place. Today I got a text message from Brian saying, hey, did you get that date stencil cut? And I was like, no, I totally forgot. So I am working on that now. I got it pulled up on here, and we're going to go ahead and get that cut. So that is one of the things I'm working on. Also, my brother Corwin is doing some final dates for us this year, and you saw some video earlier this summer, him out with Dad, learning a little bit, getting a little more practice. So he's going to be doing some of that. So I've got to get date stencils ready for him as well. He will come, take them and go do them, but I sort of have to do the legwork of getting things ready, making sure he's got a stencil, that kind of thing, and then from there he can go and do what he needs to do in the field and get stuff done. So it's good. We got a lot of customers that I didn't think maybe stuff would get done for me yet this fall, and they have gotten done already. So having him take care of some of that stuff means better customer service, which is always a good thing in my book. All right, got that cut for Brian, got the stencil put in the packaging here, and we are ready to seal it up like so, and off to Brian she goes. Sorry Brian, I didn't get it done that day. I try and get them done the same day you get them in, if not that day, the next, but this one escaped me for a couple days, so thanks for texting me a reminder. We'll get it out to you today. So this stencil knife that I keep in here is got a kind of a maroon handle on it, and then I turned a wood handle for it. You can see it's the finish is not so great on it, so I'm gonna have to refinish a bunch of them actually at some point, but for now it is in the state that it is. But I like putting these wooden handles on here. They make it so much nicer to use. Yeah, they're just way better with the wooden handle. The rubbers, they end up kind of getting loose, and they sort of twirl around. You can't get a good grip on them, and they start sliding off the end as you're pushing. That whole thing kind of pops out on you. So it's nice to have these hard, fast handles. They work really well. So, and I make these on my lathe. Same way I kind of make pens. I haven't showed any pen making in a long time, but I actually make pens. So if you guys are interested in a little piece from North Country Memorials, hit me up and let me know. I can make and ship you a pen. They're anywhere from well, about 25 bucks up to 125 bucks for a pen. And if you wanted a handle like this, I could sell you one of these knives with the handle on it like this. I would basically buy a new knife and then put a handle on. Something like that would be about 40 bucks for one of those. So if it's something you guys are interested in, hit me up, let me know. I certainly could do that. C&M Pen Studios on Facebook is the best way to get a hold of me about that stuff, but you can always email me too at my work email, ncmchristian@live, and let me know you want a pen. We can work something out. All right. Anyways, this one is the specific one that is supposed to stay here, and it's supposed to sit kind of right here, and that's where it's supposed to live. And then when you're ready to cut, you have you have a knife right close by, but it inevitably travels, and of course today I had to walk out into the shop and find it, but I can always distinguish it because it's the only one with the maroon handle. So I know if the maroon handle is out there, somebody has taken it from the spot that it's supposed to be and moved it. So I always continually am bringing it back and putting it back in right there so that she's there. But we got her now. This is all junk stuff that's no good. These letters aren't correct. It's for old jobs. So that is what I'm working on right now. Just trying to compile some of this stuff. And that way, while Corwin's out on the road sandblasting, he will have plenty of extra pieces to protect the work that we are doing. Sometimes you walk through a cemetery and you see what we call overblast, and overblast is basically just a slight bit of polish taken off of a stone, and sometimes it's hard to see, sometimes it's very easy to see, but anytime you get overblast like that, it is a big disappointment, such a bummer. Really, it ruins the finish, and the only way to fix it from there is to have it repolished, and that is not cheap or cost effective most of the time, and so it is something that unfortunately often doesn't get addressed. But if I overblast on something, you know that we're fixing it right and redoing it so that it's correct, because there's really no good way to take care of it other than to redo it. But sometimes I see where it's happening, guys just leave it, and maybe the customer will never notice, maybe they notice and don't know what's going on, don't realize that it's damage that was done by a final date being put on without proper protection on the stone. But it's never a good thing. I always try and be very upfront with that kind of stuff and let the customer have the choice of what we do to fix it or replace it for them. Head out through the shop. Nice dark shop today since Dad's not in here. Nothing much going on back here. We'll show you. Here's an etching that he was working on the end of last week. It's coming along very nicely. Yeah, it's kind of got a horse and a lady riding in silhouette. It's a design he's never done, but it was something the customer had asked for and wanted, so happy to do that. Let's just walk around and take a look at this. So this is a form for a stone that won't be getting done till next year, but Corwin went out and got the foundation done right away on it. Once again, it's nice to get stuff done quick and taken care of. The old obelisk in the display. You know, I've looked at this display a little bit, but haven't looked at it too much with you guys. But this is probably my favorite display we've ever had. The old trucks go by. Jake brake is loud. Anyways, we've got North American Pink or Mountain Rose heart. Got a gray heart back there, which I just got the money for the foundation for that. So that will probably be going in. I don't know if it'll do this fall yet, but we'll get the foundation order sent out, see if we can get it done yet this fall and get it out of here. Otherwise, it'll be next spring. The teddy bear, I really don't like the teddy bear. It always makes me sad. We got the angel sitting on a columbarium. Love these oval. That's an 8-inch and 2-foot tall compared to that 3-footer in front of it. So they're both 3-footers, but compared to the 3-footer that's a 6-inch and only a 20-inch tall, that 8-inch and 24-inch tall really makes a difference. Big difference on there. So both these are the same. We've got a flat bench sitting in the back there, and I really love this piece. This is Himalayan Rainbow. The color contrasts very nicely. Very pretty piece. Glad I have it around. We've got an India red, what I call a vertical shape, 3-foot tall, 2-foot wide, which will fit on a 1-lot grave, which is nice for people that only have a 1-lot grave but want something a little bit bigger. In front of that, we've got blue pearl. Again, this is a 2-foot tall, an 8-inch thick, and really is a nice piece. In front of that, we've got columbarium. Behind that, we've got another double heart. This double heart, though, has the rocked edge, which I really like the rocked edge. It really sets it out, makes it look really nice, and that's in jet black. This angel here, I am going to try very hard to get done. I did not promise it, but I really want to get it done for the family. I know it would mean a lot to them, and so this is one that will be leaving my shop hopefully soon before the snow flies. So we got another bench hidden in the back here, park style bench with a back on it. And here we have a miniature version of that double heart with that rocked border, and it's sitting on a columbarium on a bigger base, and it's got vases to go on either side, but for whatever reason they're not out. Then we've got a cat's eye. Really like cat's eye, contrasts really well, and once again, this is that 2 foot tall, 8 inch thick, really nice. I ended up with a bunch this size, which is kind of nice. I didn't ever have this size around, but now I do, which is great because it's beautiful and really is nice. Then down here on my end, I've got my 1-person stones. So that's a 2.5 on a 3 foot base, and that is a 2 foot on a 3 foot base. And I've actually used both of these for people that don't want to spend as much money. I've done 2 names on both of those sizes, and they can work. It's a little tight, you know, getting those letters on there and everything, but it does work. So anyways, that is my front display and the state that it's in going into the winter. Most everything will be staying out here other than those couple pieces I mentioned. So it will be it'll be a nice display through the winter, although it gets covered up pretty good with snow. So my fishing bag. I've been doing a little bit of fishing this year. So I got my tackle box there, and I got my pole standing up over there. Just got a new pole last night. That's why it's sitting in my office here. I was messing with it a little bit. So kind of fun. My 2-year-old has gotten into fishing. I think I showed at the end of the one video our family fishing day. Well, since then he has been crazy about fishing. So I had to go get my yearly license rather than just my 1 day so I can keep fishing with him, and he is loving it. We're getting the 9-year-old on board too, so that's fun as well. Dad will be back for next week. He's got a lot to finish up before the end of the year here, as the snow's coming soon. We'll be having to work on stuff, but anyways, hope you guys enjoyed kind of walking around my shop a little bit with me, see what was going on. Hopefully you learned a little something about overblast. Always use stencil to protect your edges. If not stencil, Nashua duct tape that I get from Miles Supply works really, really well. A double layer of that is better than a single layer, but a single layer in a pinch will work as long as it's in an area where it's not really going to be hit directly on. But if it's going to get hit directly, always go with the double layer of that Nashua tape, and it will do pretty good. You don't want to sit there and focus on it long. It will get eaten through fast, but if you're just a little quick hit on it, won't bother it at all, and will protect that polish from overblast. So always be mindful of that, especially when you're blasting out in the cemeteries, because you're using a smaller stencil. You're not covering the whole stone, and you're not necessarily covering the base. So you got to cover part of the base. So you want to make sure that you're not going to end up with overblast issues. They are never fun, and always a bummer to have to call a customer and say, hey, we worked on stuff, but we created a problem. So always avoid that as much as you can. Thank you guys for coming along. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Gravestone Pros here in North Country Memorials. We will see you all next time.